In South Dakota, a woman was, in 2009, an officer, but impounded 15 cats that were in her car while she was driving.
15 cats.
Yeah.
Let's take your 15 cats for joyride. That's unreal.
Yeah, but there's no limit. So there's that's the problem. You can have 35 cats in a car. There's no law. There's no limit.
You know what the
to
problem with cats are? And I'll tell you, I've driven with one before in my cars. They'll literally go under your feet and get under the accelerator pedal if you're not careful.
Oh, of
and,
course.
Anyway.
You can train them how to drive. Anyways.
Yeah. You know what's funny my dog does? We have Dexter in a car seat, but sometimes he stands on the armrest and he pushes the window to the power windows. It's quite hilarious. All of a sudden he's standing there and the window starts opening. It's quite funny. Anyway, good old Dexter. Yes.
Here's some little bit of tips that the AAA gives to you. Never allow your cat to roam freely in the car. They like to sit on your lap or respond, or they go on the dashboard, making them a distraction.
Yes.
And that's true. Use pet design harnesses or seat belts for your dog. Now, don't just get one that's in the store that you see for kids or something like that. You need specific ones that are designed for pets.
We have one for Dexter. It's kind of cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Never, ever leave your pet in a parked car during the summer.
Yeah.
And if I have to tell you that, unfortunately, the news came out today that a family in Toronto was on vacation in Texas, and they left their 2-year-old son. They took out the groceries, and they forgot to bring the son in from inside the car. And unfortunately, the son passed away.
Get out.
When the ambulance came, they found him. He had a temperature of 106 degrees.
That's sick.
So, this is something that...
Talk about the worst lesson ever to learn. God.
Yeah. It's a horrible accident, and, obviously our prayers go out to anybody involved in that. That's
awful.
That's awful.
I
So
have
once
two
again,
letters to say, IQ.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes people are
It's amazing.
People are in disarray.
Yeah,
you just sometimes
it just goes to show you that we're such a fast society. We need to slow down and smell the roses. Anyway, go ahead.
I like roses.
Yeah.
Also, don't let your dog hang its head out the side of a window. I talked about this the other week.
Yeah.
You're just assuming, once again, it becomes a driver distraction depending on which window, a hindrance to seeing traffic around you. So if you're looking at your blind spot and there's your dog, and he's like, you're like, okay, I guess I can go and smash. No.
And, people don't even think. You see how many stone chips we all have on the front of our car. What do you think that stone chip is going to do, like a stone's going to do a dog's eye if they're sticking their head out the window?
Of course.
Anyway.
Yeah. Last but not least, never attach a restraining device to your pet's collar while inside the vehicle.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's not a good idea even to put keep your dog on a leash while he's in the car, just because you never know. He can run around.
Gets caught and you have to stop quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a recipe for disaster, and I'm not in the mood to eat. So
I've got a cool story. Listen to this one. BC police, bears surround pot fields. So this is an interesting, it took place, actually an article from today. Got this from one of our listeners. Thank you very much. And in Christina Lake, British Columbia, police uncovered 2 huge marijuana fields near the U.S.-Canada border and had to tread carefully because there were 13 black bears wandering around the crops.
I guess those bears have a little bit of an issue there.
Anyway, fields had 2,300 plants were found. Just literally kilometers from the border. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police Captain Dan, I can't even pronounce his last name, says that when police arrived in the area 2 weeks ago, they discovered the bears and cautiously went about making the seizure. He said that bears were docile and obviously were used to humans. They could be put down if they were too habituated to people, apparently. The property's 2 owners were arrested on charges of production and possession of a controlled substance. It is unclear if they used the bears to guard the pot fields or they just liked having them as pets.
I think that the bears were smoking the pot and became addicted, and that's honestly what happened.
It. I'm going to tell you, I've had a number of dogs who have eaten pot, and it's funny. I mean, they are zoned.
West Nile virus and your pets. A few West Nile virus cases are starting to spout up now because we're in August, and guess what? They're hitting dogs. But pet owners shouldn't be overly concerned that their dogs and cats could contract the virus from mosquitoes. So a lot of people don't know you can get the West Nile virus from mosquitoes.
Which surprises me because, I thought that we'd see a lot of West Nile virus last year because it was really wet. But this year it's really dry. And I was going to mention today, when we were talking about our weeks, I was going to mention today, I alone saw 6 flea cases today. Fleas, ladies and gentlemen, are on the rampage. So if you do not have your dog or cat on flea control, please, and they go outside, please get them on some form of flea control because the fleas are hot this summer because it's nice and hot and humid. It's the perfect weather for fleas. But last year was the perfect weather for mosquitoes and West Nile virus. So I'm surprised they're talking about that now. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, the virus has been confirmed in some domestic animals, including dogs, cats, and especially horses. It's actually quite serious for horses. No kidding around there. In the past years, but those cases are very rare, according to the United States the United States Center for Disease Control, the CDC, is also highly unlikely that most pet owners would notice any unusual symptoms or behavior in cats or dogs that are affected by the virus. It's pretty interesting, actually. And there actually is a confirmed case of an animal having the virus and then giving it
back to a person?
Back to the owner.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought this would be a pretty interesting story for you. There's a lot of stuff here that veterinarians talk about. And once again, this is a controlled disease. This is something that people can fix, and once again, there is a vaccine against the virus for horses. I don't know if you knew that.
I did know that, actually.
A lot of people
I don't know a lot about the virus in horses because I obviously don't deal with them, but I did know there was a vaccine.
Owners who are concerned about their animals contracting the West Nile virus can simply take precautions like keeping pets indoors during early morning and evening hours to reduce the risk of mosquito bites.
Right.
So I can't.
And that'd be true for heartworm as well.
Yeah, and actually they talk about heartworm in this article.
Well, just because both of them are contracted by mosquitoes, right? Or transmitted, by mosquitoes. So that's the news, right, dude?
That is the news, my friend. That is the news.